We went to our appointment, and I remember it was our ultrasound tech's first day. She printed like 100 pictures. And I was like, this is so odd. I'm close with my midwives, and she came in and she just hugged me and said, we found a cleft lip. And I started crying, and I just kind of looked at her, and fortunately my husband was with me, and he just put his arms around me. And you know, at that point it was just the 2D ultrasound, so there's only so much you can know. And then the doctor came in and just, you know, confirmed, and but was just encouraging that there are so many things that, there's so many resources and so many things that can be done, that the tears and the anger subsided, and just were less frequent. I was just worried I was gonna have to like create our own path and figure out all the appointments and what do we do next, and it's all laid out for us. They tell us what to do and help us decide what's best. So that just took a lot of my fears and nervousness away. Then just once we sat down with Carolyn, she just had a huge basket of bottles and different things that you use to kind of help the baby, and she's just showing us how they work, and she normalized the process and just encouraged us, and we're excited that we were having a baby, and this is our baby, and we're so thankful that we get to be her parents, and it's part of her story, it's part of our story, and we're just thankful and excited that we get to welcome her into our family.
So today Jane is 4 weeks old, and this is our third kind of NAM appointment where they're making adjustments and fitting the device. So the NAM, I think, is the nasal alveolar mold. It looks like a fancy word for a retainer, kind of, is what it looks like. And basically, you know, from what they've explained to us, is on the cleft side, usually the alveolar segment or the gum line is kind of smashed down, and they tend to build it up week over week to get it more in line. And once they get those in line, then they start doing the nasal stent and working on the shape of the nose. So it was really the first week was getting her fitted and going home without the wire, without the nasal stent. And then on the second appointment we came back, and they've been working on the nose since then. And now it's just a matter of kind of shaping the nose and I guess straightening the columella before surgery. I felt pretty prepared, and it didn't seem like anything out of the ordinary from a normal birth.
The biggest concern is always feeding, and feeding went well right away. So that was not an issue. We'll still be coming every Friday and having it adjusted, and then her first surgery is scheduled for August 31st. The boys are loving her. They were a little bit hesitant. I think they were scared to like see her face at first, and so they were kind of just peeking around. And then the next day, our 5-year-old came up to me and he said, "Mommy, I thought it was gonna be a hole like this, but it's just like this. I don't even notice it." She comes home every week with like different tapes and wires going on, and it doesn't even faze them. That's their little sister, and I think it'll probably be strange for them when there's nothing on her face.
So Jane is 3 months old. Last time we talked, she's been doing great since then. Feeding really well, sleeping really well, which is a huge benefit. And yeah, pretty much just a happy baby. Has 2 older brothers that love her and really care for her, and she's getting really smiley and giggly and cooing and talking to us, so she's been a lot of fun. This was the lip repair. So it was the first of our surgeries with the cleft, and basically they brought the 2 segments of her lip together. And I guess they can either do a lip adhesion or a lip repair. This one was a full repair. Everything went really well. It was about a 4-hour procedure. She also had tubes put in her ears as well. And yeah, they said everything went great, had a lot of tissue, and there's no issues, and Dr. Casson was really pleased with how the lip segments came together, and it looks a lot different than she used to. She's still very beautiful, and I'm excited to see once we get all the stitches out and tape off. But yeah, it went well. It'll be 1 night in the hospital. We'll be going home today, and we come back on Friday to get a couple of the nylon stitches out, and then the rest of the stitches are all dissolvable. The next big surgery will be the palate surgery, and that should be between months 9 to 12. So hopefully we'll just be enjoying her and getting stitches out and having her recover and getting back to her normal self and getting to see her new smile.
So in the past 2 months, we've learned to crawl and is pulling up and saying mama and just doing lots of fun 8, 9, 10-month-old things. And so that's what we've been doing.
Today we're here for Jane's cleft palate repair. It's about a 4-hour procedure, and my understanding is they'll be repairing 3 different layers. A layer of mucosa inside the nose, the muscle layer, and then the mucosa inside the mouth, and they'll be closing that all up, and so she'll have a solid roof of her mouth now. So I think we'll be admitted for tonight, and assuming everything goes well, get to go home tomorrow if there's no complications. And then I think typical full recovery is 2 to 3 weeks, is kind of my understanding.
This is her last scheduled surgery for the year, and I remember when she was still inside of me, just daydreaming about her first birthday, just knowing that we would have the 2 surgeries behind us and have a few years off. And though I don't want to wish her first year away, I am really excited to just know that we don't have to deal with this for another few years, at least. Jane just turned 1 year old a couple of weeks ago, which was really, really exciting. Well, first I never thought that I would actually miss a hole in her palate, but like when she has her like big belly laughs now and opens her mouth, it was weird at first seeing an intact palate and not seeing this hole. But then something was also just really exciting and fun was she could finally make a lot of new noises that she hadn't been able to make before. So that was really fun for us. We would videotape it because she would just kind of sing at night to us and just, you know, you can imitate if you want. But just make all these sweet little babbling baby noises that we didn't get to hear from her before her palate repair. So that was something that was really special and exciting to get to hear those noises for the first time.
And then it's kind of largely just been life with 3 kids at home. 2 boys that love to wrestle with her and play with her, and she loves to chase them around and slobber them and hang out with them, and they fight over playing with her. So yeah, just kind of getting used to normal life again and life with very few appointments now. So that's kind of been a welcome change.
Jane is delayed in her speech a little bit, so she can right now just say mama consistently. And they usually hope that within 6 weeks after palate repair that they can say one new noise consistently, like baba or dada. We are going to continue to work on Jane's speech and get her saying dada.